Shrimate Siddheswarupananda Paramahamsa iti namine. Namo Bhaktivedanta Swami namine Gaura Karana Swarupaya Radha Krishna Pristayate. Vanchakalpa Tribhyascha Kripisanubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnaveva Namo Namaha. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. First of all, let me apologize for a number of things. If I have embarrassed you by chastising you for talking or something like that, I apologize. I blame it on culture. When I was growing up, when I was your age, if I was attending a class and I was taught, which I always was talking, I was always talking, I was always not paying attention to the teacher, and the teacher would point me out and say, you want to share something with the class? You want to stand up? And or maybe he would say, okay, you, talking, go, stand in the corner. Something like that. We were always chastised if we were talking while somebody else was supposed to have your focus. So this is something that maybe it's just like an American thing. I don't know. Maybe here in the Philippines they don't do that. And I apologize to you who are watching internationally if I have offended you in any way. Also, I want to apologize for being late. I'm sorry. It was, traffic was horrendous and we got a late start because it's a long story. I'll tell you later. But I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful to you because you sit and listen to by trying to share my spiritual master's wisdom. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to all the devotees here in the Philippines, because without your association, I would be completely lost. Gratitude is something that we don't often think about. We see a cockroach running across the floor, immediately we want to kill it. Right? You see a cockroach, you want to kill it. Why? Are you any better than him? Are you better than a cockroach? Well, maybe you think you are, but you are all parts of God. Ants, we see ants, and we think dirty, dirty, dirty. Oh, that's dirty. But actually, ants are probably much cleaner than you are. And we don't think. The people who are concerned about how we treat animals, very small group, people like Greenpeace, and up until recently, even the people in Greenpeace, they would want to save the whales, but they would eat meat, which is ridiculous. Now they've changed their focus so that you can't join Greenpeace, at least not on their boats, unless you are vegan. So there is no animal cruelty there, but it's a small group. The point is, it's a small group. And it's very, very difficult to give, or you can't, this kind of gratitude for life, it is something that comes with the association of devotees. Again, I'm so grateful to people like Boying and his family, and so many of the people that come here regularly, simply because you elevate my life. You give my life meaning. Your association is so important to any advancement that I may make. And I would ask you that when you see or associate with your friends, all of your friends here, many of you are friends with each other. Be grateful. Be grateful that you're not associating with a so-called friend who has nothing more in mind than some superficial aggrandizement, some that they just want to look good. They want to have the right friends, or they want something from you. If your friend wants something from you, that is not a friend. If your friend wants to give you something and you want to give them something, that is real friendship. Each gives the other what they lack. Okay? And among devotees, not only do we give one another what we may lack, but we also remind each other constantly about Krishna. Be grateful. Be grateful that you have the amazing chance, the amazing opportunity to associate with God Himself, to associate with God's pure devotee, a genuine guru, a genuine saint, and to associate with His disciples and grow in your desire to love God. One of the dangers inherent in sadhana bhakti, this path that we follow, is that it becomes a thing that you do without any reason. You forget why. Why are we offering our food to Krishna? Why do we offer artik? Why? If you don't know the answer, then you need help. How many of you have been to a Catholic worship service? Catholic church? Raise your hand. I know you've been, Faye. Okay, raise your hand. How many of you have been to a Catholic worship service? In a church? I'm sure probably most of you have. Have you ever noticed how the people that are in the supposedly listening, they're not listening? They've all got something more important to do. They're taking care of their kids, they're talking, they're doing this, they're doing that. Have you ever noticed that the priest who's supposedly offering this and doing that, raising the Bible up in the air, that he's just doing it because he was told to do it? He has no idea why he's doing what he's doing. He reads the Bible to the congregation like like somebody reading a kindergarten book. And the Lord said, you all be this in the Jesus in Christ, and he did means nothing to him. And so it means nothing to the people who are supposedly supposed to benefit. What is the bread and the water, the wine and the, what is that called? Communion. Yes. The communion is probably the most important aspect of Catholic Mass for the benefit of the people. But they don't take it to heart. They come because, oh, you're supposed to stand in line. Just like some of you, when I'm giving tilak, you come because you get peer pressure from your friends. Oh, yes, you have to do this. Everybody has to do this. And you don't know why. You don't know what this is. Just everybody's doing it. So we should do it. You should do it. You should do it. You should do it. Hey, get up there. He's giving tilak. If you don't know why, you should try to find out before you just go ahead and do something. Don't do it just because somebody else is doing it. Don't do it because everybody says, oh, you should do that. No. Do it because you understand that you are decorating your body with the name of God. That the name of God is protecting you, and you are glorifying his holy name with this mark of tilak. And that he himself is there protecting you in his holy name. And therefore, that's why we wear the tilak. It's not just because we want to look good or something, or because everybody else does it. And if this is not something that you understand, then please ask someone. Ask someone over there. Over there they all know what's what. Okay? Or ask someone that you think might know. When I am giving tilak to everyone, I am always, every week, I am always reminded of revelations in the Bible where it says that in the last days, the godly people will have the name of God upon their forehead. How much more wonderful can it be than that? Again, in the Catholic Church, you get this once a year, right? You get it once a year. It's called Ash Wednesday. And you put the remnants of the offering upon your forehead. Same idea, but we try to, I do it every day. Some of you may be thinking, well, you know, how can I go to school with this mark on my forehead? Or how can I go to work with this mark on my forehead? But it's possible to do it with water. You can do it with water. It doesn't have to be Jamuna clay. We as devotees, we try to be practical. So it may not be possible for you to wear tilak out and about where people won't understand. But you can put tilak on with water, Shikeshavaya Namaha, with the mantra, and Krishna knows. You know, and Srila Prabhupada knows. Okay? Don't do anything. If you're asked to offer artik and you don't really know what the meaning of artik is, then say no. I'm sorry, I'm not qualified. I don't really understand what artik is. Don't be afraid. And then inquire. What is this? Why do we do this? Why do we engage in this activity? Why does Boying take a busload of people out to chant in the streets? Is it just like, again, some tradition? Do you know what tradition is? My daughter gave me the best explanation of tradition a few weeks ago. We were talking about college hazing and how people were dying from being hazed in college, and they did it because it is traditional. You do this hazing to get into a sorority or a men's group, whatever the heck they're called, and you get hazed, and you take your life in your hands. Why? Because they've been doing it for 100 years, and it's tradition. The definition, the best definition I've ever heard of tradition is, it is peer pressure of the dead. The dead people that used to do it 100 years ago are pressuring you. We did it, you have to do it. That's tradition. Don't do anything out of tradition. Do it because you understand why you're doing it. This is vitally important to any bhakta, anyone who wants to follow a saintly path. You don't go out on the streets and chant because it's the traditional thing that we do. No. If that's why you're doing it, you should think about it. You're not doing it for the right reason. So try to always understand what it is that we do and why we do it. Same thing in your school. Same thing in your family. Why does it have to be this way? Well, it's traditional, My father-in-law was very strict. He was a sergeant in the Philippine Army. And when he sat the family down to eat, no talking. Everybody sit up straight. Eat your food. No talking. Somebody talk, they have to stand up and go outside. They can't eat. And then after he was through with that, he would go out to the bar and hang out with the harlots and the prostitutes and get drunk and gamble. This is the value of so-called tradition. Has no value. It has no real value. So, again, don't get caught up in doing something just because it's the thing to do. Understand why you're doing it, or don't do it. Okay? Are there any questions? No? You don't have a question? Anyone? My question corner over there? Anybody have a question? Ladies? You sure? Well, in that case, we'll chant. Haribol, namaste. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. Haribo.